Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
Just a man.
You need to change where you got the phone.
Who's cactus?
Here, we'll wait just a few more minutes for everybody to join us. See who all's going to be able to make it with us today.
I don't like this.
Just a few more minutes and we'll see who all's going to join us today.
Shut up! Golly! Wait, shut up for a minute. I said be quiet.
Dylan, does the chicken take after you?
I think so. He never shuts up.
Then yes, he
I'm
takes
gonna
after
throw a brick
you.
at his face. I'm gonna throw a brick at his face. There he goes again. I'm about to throw a bicycle at him.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll see who all will be joining us. So I am glad that y'all decided to join me today. I've got most of y'all's projects in what you plan on doing. Kaden, what do you plan on doing your project on? I haven't heard from you yet.
Catherine Johnson.
On who?
Catherine Johnson.
Catherine Johnson?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And okay, the others I don't have aren't in.
My dad
Okay.
sent an email.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's got us all there. Does everybody good with their project, with what they need to do for it? Anybody have any questions about it? Anybody started it? Who started it? Nobody?
Nope.
That's all right. You got a little while to go, so don't stress about it. Y'all are all doing really, really good with Ignitia. You're all keeping up with it. You're doing well with the assignments. So I'm very proud of y'all for that. All right. Last week I asked y'all to think of something historic that's happened this week. Anybody thought of anything? Anybody got anything?
I was born.
You were born this week?
Mm-hmm. I became a new man. I became older by one day.
Ah, okay. All right. Summer, did you find anything or think of anything?
To do with the virus. Like to do with the virus?
Yeah, or anything really, because there was some big stuff in the world that's happened that didn't involve the virus.
Um,
I'm sorry about that stupid rooster.
too much oil and gas.
Yes. Yesterday, something historic happened with oil. It went down to below zero a barrel. So gas prices are going down a lot. So that's pretty good. All right, Dylan, what about you?
I don't really know.
Didn't find anything?
No, I'm clueless.
Okay. All right, Logan, what about you? Did you find anything? No? All right, Maggie?
Just like how much produce and certain foods cost now.
Yes. And what's crazy to me, going along the same lines, is people who sell, because my husband's a farmer and everything, so we keep up with all this stuff. But how people, they sell, usually are used to selling to restaurants, and restaurants have different standards than grocery stores. So the foods that they usually send to restaurants, they can't send it to grocery stores. So they're having to just throw out all that food, which is just crazy because we have people all over the United States who are starving and we can't give them the food. So that's pretty good. All right, Greg?
There's been less robberies.
Less robberies? Cool. Maybe people are actually staying home, doing what they're
I
supposed to.
doubt it.
All right, Jake, what about you?
How sad I feel without baseball. Just how like, I mean, it's just like I have nothing to look forward to, if that makes sense. Like I'm still exercising and everything, but I have nothing to like. I'm like, I still get alerts on my thing from like, be prepared for your game, because it still has it in the system or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it just makes me.
Yeah. Because you can't even watch baseball. Except for the Atlanta Braves, they did air like the, what was it, 95 World Series.
Yes,
did you watch that?
They're airing it the 27th.
Okay, so it's coming up. That's
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
I actually remember that. I was alive when that happened. I actually remember that. I was 9 years old when the Braves, no, I wasn't 9 yet. I was 8 when the Braves won the World Series.
Daddy said he was in college at Georgia, and Florida put up 50 in Athens, and then the Braves won the World Series.
Oh, wow. That's cool. All right, Anna, what about you?
I don't know.
You don't know? Think get to look for anything? All right.
No,
All right.
ma'am.
All right, Colby, what about you? Something historic that happened this week?
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay. All right, Adrian, what about you? Something historic that happened this week?
The only thing that I know about is the oil.
The oil? That was good, though. That's good. That's pretty big, especially for us. Gas prices are going down, thankfully.
I'm looking at a chart and it's negative 37.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. That is actually less than $1. Like you have to pay somebody to get the oil from you. That's cool. All right, Lydia?
A bunch of stores are closing, so you can't like go very many places.
Yes. And a lot of them, especially the smaller businesses, it's going to be hard for them to come out of this. But it's kind of in all of this, I've been more encouraged to try to do stuff with small businesses, like some of the local restaurants, places like this. I love to go to my S'mores coffee shop and get me a coffee instead of going to some of the bigger chain stores. So maybe this will encourage some of us to do more with the local businesses.
Like we've ordered Mexican from Lackawanna a couple times, not burning.
Yes, we've done the same thing. My husband talked with the owner, and she was just talking about trying to still pay her cook so they could send the money back home to their families in Mexico. So that's a very good thing. All right, let's see. I already did Adrian. Caden, something historic that happened this week.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. All right, Nate. What about you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Come on, if I was able to say something, y'all can.
All right, Keegan, something historic that happened this week. All right, whose music? All right, Tegan, something historic that happened this week.
I don't know.
You don't know? All right, let's see. Rylan, something historic that happened this week. Rylan? Didn't hear anything. All right. Colin, something historic that happened this week.
A worldwide shutdown completely.
Yes. Yes, all over the world. All right. And let's see, I think I got, all right, Jesse, something historic that happened this week.
I'm pretty sure the hair and nail places open back up.
Well, they will be opening back up. They're supposed to open back up Friday. So, which I think is crazy. We've got all this stuff opening back up when we're still supposed to be sheltering in place. So that's a little contradictory. Sometimes our leaders don't always say things that make sense. Say or do things that make sense. All right. So those are all good things. I'm glad that y'all looked them up. Y'all been paying attention because, like I said, this is all historic times. Things are happening daily. We've got President Trump yesterday who temporarily put a ban on immigration into the country. Nobody can come into the United States at all for a little while. We don't know the details about it yet. He just put a ban on immigration coming into the United States. There was also a mass shooting in Vancouver, Canada, this week. That was the biggest in Canadian history. So we've got a lot.
Did anybody get arrested for it?
I am not sure all the details on it. I know it happened, but I'm not sure of all the details on it. But we've got historic stuff that's happening all the time. So this is stuff that in 100 years, Lord willing, if the Lord hasn't come back first, then your grandchildren or great-grandchildren could be reading about the things that happened here. So this is a time when we can pay attention and we can kind of carry on the stories. How many of y'all like to talk to your grandparents about things that happened when they were young? How many of y'all have ever gotten the opportunity to do that? That's always been one of my favorite things to do, is to talk with my grandparents about what happened when they were young. My grandparents were born about the time that World War II was happening. So they were old enough to kind of remember some of it. And then my mom was old enough, like during the Vietnam War. So I always like talking to them and hearing about things that happened when they were growing up. And these are things you need to be able to share with your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren one day, because they haven't lived through this. But you have, so you can share these things with them, your experiences with them. So take it in, think about it. Don't just think, oh, well, I'm stuck on a computer all day doing schoolwork and I have to meet with my teachers once a week on this computer screen and all. So take the time and listen to the news and think about what all is going on and how that makes you feel. Because that's one of my big things when I talk with my grandparents. I love hearing how it made them feel, not just the facts of the situation, but how it made them feel, what they did as a family to get through it. That makes sense?
Yeah. Because like, even though like about like World War like II and like all that stuff, we can like read about it and stuff, but we're never really like understood like how they felt and stuff.
Yes, exactly. All right. Does anybody have any questions with any of your assignments this week in Ignita? Any questions on it? It's pretty simple this week. It's not so bad. Next week, there's like 5 different sections before you get to the quiz. So I'm going to break the video up a little bit. I'm going to do 2 sections and then 3 sections and then like a review for the quiz, because it's crazy the way Ignita did this. I mean, it just goes, some of it gets going over the same information 2 or 3 times. So it's just, there's a lot there. So I'm going to do a couple of different videos to try to help y'all with that. And also it shortens the video time so you're not watching them quite so long. So that's, you can look for those coming up this week, coming out towards first part of next week. Don't forget your project, be working on it. Your written project. Right now, I don't think it's in Ignitia yet, but by the due date for it is the 11th, May the 11th. Last time we did our Zoom call, I wasn't sure on the due date yet, but it is May the 11th. So by May the 11th, if it's not in the if it's not in Ignita yet, then you can always just email me your paper. I've already had some touch base with me wanting to set up a Zoom, one-on-one Zoom meeting to be able to do the project. If you get done with it before the 11th, feel free to go ahead and touch base with me. You can email me your paper and we can go ahead and set up how you're going to do your presentation, okay? So you don't have to wait until the 11th to turn it in. You can do it just as soon as you get it ready, okay? All right. So does anybody have any questions about anything we've done, anything we have to do?
So we just have to write a paper about 3 things, right? That was about them.
No, you got to write a paper about them. Those 3 objects you're doing, that's going to help you with your presentation, but you're not writing your paper over those 3 objects.
So we're kind of doing like a biography in their life, kind of like chronological order.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And does it need to be like 5 paragraphs or like 2 papers?
Did you get the email with the information on there?
Mom probably didn't send it to me. She's only been sending me ones about the Zoom meetings.
Okay.
But I can ask her for them.
Yeah, because it's all the information's in there. I think it is at least 5 paragraphs, an introduction paragraph, 3 body paragraphs, and then a closing paragraph. And it also shows in there, if you'll watch the videos that I've done over it, it shows how to set up the meetings. Or, I'm sorry, not the meetings. How to set up your paper and everything. I'll walk you through it, going through Word, how to set it up and everything, the specifics as far as the font size and all that. Has anybody had a chance to watch any of the videos, like how to set up your paper or anything? I figured that might be something you would need for later on after you've done your research and everything, but it's out there already for you to have it. All right. Anybody have any other questions? No? All right. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up. My intentions each week is not make it where y'all have to stay on here so long and be bored listening to me talk or other people talk, but really give you a chance that I can see y'all, because I miss each one of y'all so much. I cannot wait. Hopefully we can get back to school next year and everything will get back to normal.
No, we don't need to go back to school.
Yes, we
This
do.
is perfect. This is perfect.
I'm with Dylan.
No, this
I'm
isn't
with
perfect.
Dylan.
I'm tired of being stuck in the house.
Yeah.
I like
So I am ready to get back to school, and I am ready for my children to get back to school for somebody else to have to teach them. That is not me. So, Alice and John are doing pretty good. Me and Caleb, we're going to come to blows by the end of all this. Me and Caleb, we do not get along when it comes time for schoolwork. All right. So, any questions? Hi, Marley.
Miss Brady.
Yes.
Could you add my email to the email list?
All right. Okay, that was Nate.
Hi, Marley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's your-
Nathaniel.landon07@gmail.com.
Nathaniel.landon07
Yes, ma'am.
@gmail.
No, 07. I mean, my bad. 27@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Yes, I will see what I can do to get it added. Because we do it through GradeLink, so I'll see if I can get it added in GradeLink. If not, I'll make sure that I'll forward an email to you. I'll send it to you. So I'll make sure you get them.
Okay.
If anybody else would rather me send an email to you versus parents, just shoot me a message in Ignita with your email address and I'll send it to you, okay? Because I know sometimes when parents work and they've got a lot going on, some may have more than one child they're trying to keep up with, so there's a lot going on. So if I need to send email straight to you, I don't mind. Just shoot me the email address in Ignita and I'll get it to you, okay? Anybody have any questions? All right. Well, I am going to close us in prayer and then I'll let y'all go, okay? All right, so let's pray. Father God, I praise you and I thank you for the day you've given us, for allowing us to have this time that we can come together and we can have this call, Father. Father, I thank you so much for just the time that I can see these students' faces and I can hear their voices, Father. I have missed each one of them so much, Father. And I just pray for them and their families now, Father, that you will just be with them, Father. Help them to see your love, Father. Help them to see the hope that comes from you. And Father, I pray that you will just keep each one of them until we can come back together again. And Father, we love you. We made this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. So we will get back together next week at 10. We'll have another Zoom call. Be looking out for emails for the information for next week. And I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good week. Bye, guys. Love y'all.